Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to Accepting the Path of an Empath. In this episode, we are going to be diving into accepting the wild rhythm of self-love. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get yourself cozy, and let's dive in. Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self. Embrace your truth and live your life that way. Welcome to this week's episode, gorgeous. In the previous episode, we've been speaking about the sacred pause, softness, living with grace. In this episode, we're going to be really feeling into what self-acceptance really feels like, because it's all very well saying I accept all of myself, my shadows, my light, and saying that is actually the reality of it. How can we navigate those wild rhythms of self-love and show up as we truly are? Okay, so get yourself cozy, grab yourself a cup of tea, and let's dive in. So I've been really feeling into this episode, and there's been a continuation. And I mentioned in the previous episode how two of the audios didn't work, and we ended up recording again the following day outside. So I've got this beautiful image behind me for those of you who are listening, of the sun has risen behind and is now just above the tree coming through. So it felt really beautiful to share that with you so you can feel the energy of gratitude from the sun. We're recording on a Sunday, and on the Sunday it's all about gratitude. And it feels really apt in terms of when we are showing up and working on ourselves and accepting all aspects for ourselves, gratitude is the main word. That's the key of it all. It's saying thank you to our bodies. It's saying thank you to our minds. It's saying thank you to our beautiful gifts. It's saying thank you to our guides. It's saying thank you for our experiences. It's saying thank you for all that's happening and all that has happened to get us to this point. And it's also saying thank you for all those messy parts of ourselves, because we've come here for a human experience. It's not all Pollyanna and rainbows and unicorns. Let's be honest, it's not. We came here to experience emotions. We came here to experience life. And I've got a little guest behind me. If you can just see the tail for those of you listening. Meowie has been next to me for a little while now. So it's honouring all aspects of ourselves. And I know I can sound like a bit of a broken record saying honouring all aspects of ourselves. How often do we actually do that? So it's showing up as who we truly are. It's allowing ourselves not to be liked. And this is huge. This is so huge, because when people ask our opinions as empaths, from where we've instilled it into ourselves from childhood to show up and make sure that everybody else is okay around us so we can be okay, this is our coping mechanism that we've created, we can oftentimes feel what that person is going through, and we can almost show up in a way that makes them feel better, which may not necessarily be the truth. So when we are showing up in our truth, other people around us can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable, and there may be a little bit of pushback. So this is what I'm saying, is it's okay not to be liked. When you accept exactly who you are, and you don't take any BS, excuse my French, excuse my language, and you don't take any nonsense, that is showing up, and that is the rhythm, wild rhythm of self-love, because you're creating healthy boundaries. You're showing up in the best way for you, so you can bring out all your fabulous gifts and show up in the best way you can for others. And it's very likely, my gorgeous, there's going to be others who don't like that. And there's a beautiful expression, it's none of my business what other people think of me. It's so true, because everybody is in their own experience. Everybody is in their own world, if you like. Everybody is in their own story. Everybody feels what is going on around them in a different way. For example, with the police, when there's a situation that happened and there's witnesses, they generally all have a different take on what happened because they're seeing from their story, from their eyes. And this is exactly the same when you're making beautiful changes and making beautiful transformation in your life. So you're showing up with who you actually are, not who people have expected you to be and who you've pretended to be. So you will be liked and you will be accepted. There are going to be people who don't like you anymore, and that's okay. Oof, I felt that. And that is so strong. And as empaths, that can be a real punch in the stomach, because we like to be liked. We like to be appreciated. We like everybody to say, oh, isn't she wonderful? She did this, 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 and the next thing for me. Or isn't she wonderful? They helped me here. Aren't they fabulous? They did this for me. And when we actually listen to that narrative of people's, not everybody, of people saying, oh, how wonderful is she, he, they, they're saying it from their perspective of what we have done for them, not who we are. And this is where it's dramatically different, my gorgeous. It's seismically different. It's you saying, this is me, all of me. I accept exactly who I am, and I accept that not everybody is going to like this. And that's okay. I'm here to show up and work with my gifts to help people if that feels aligned and if that's the direction we're going in. And I'm here to show up in the world and help to transmute negative energies into beautiful love, compassion, and understanding. And to do that, there is shadow work. To do that, there are people who are going to give you pushback because they're not ready to face their truth. Or there are people who are still in an experience that they have chosen to have, that they will continue with that experience because they haven't learned from that. So they will go back to another experience to learn that. And I hope this is resonating, because this is coming through very, very strongly now. So it's saying to yourself every morning, I am going to show up is exactly who I am, even if people don't like me. And I'm not saying start going in and telling people they're this, that, and the next thing. This is not what we're talking about. This is showing up with healthy boundaries. This is showing up with your own opinions. This is showing up with believing in what your truth is, not believing automatically what everybody else is saying the truth is. This is huge, because with the news, with all that's going on in the world, there's a lot of situations where people try to control. So there will be elements where you'll feel into as an empath and you'll feel, well, this doesn't feel quite right. I don't think I quite believe this. And then everybody else around you believes this is the truth. So you think, oh, well, yeah, it must be true then. If they're all believing it, then I guess it is. Instead of feeling into what we initially felt with our gut feeling of something doesn't feel quite right here. So there's going to be elements where you're not agreeing with others, and that is absolutely okay. It doesn't mean they have to come out of your life. It just means you have different opinions, and that's absolutely fine, my gorgeous. It's accepting that. It's accepting that people won't have the same point of view as you. It's accepting that you won't have the same point of view as others. And if we can all get along that way and still have friends who still have our back, we don't have to agree with everything. And we don't have to show up in fawning and people-pleasing mode and agree with everybody else around us just so we can be liked. It's okay not to be liked. This is a strong one today. So it's so important that as you're going into that beautiful inner work, as you're taking layers off, as you're taking the mask of the people pleaser off, as you're taking off the mask of everybody expects you to be, is loving yourself. Oh, there's a spider. Is loving yourself exactly as you are and allowing other people not to like you. Okay? So it's really, really important to have kindness, to have compassion, to have understanding. Absolutely. It starts with you, my gorgeous. And it starts with you realizing that perhaps you've been showing up in a way just to please everybody else. It starts with you realizing, well, actually, when I'm with that person, I feel really exhausted when I come back. And realizing you have given your energy away. People don't take energy from us, we allow it to go. So it's being really honest with yourself and saying, do you know what? I love myself anyway. Even though I was in that situation, even though I allowed that to happen, I love every aspect of myself. And as I'm beginning to understand my way, as I'm beginning to understand my truth and my essence, things are going to start looking very differently. The people around me are likely going to be very different because my vibration is changing. My vibration is changing to truth, not of conformity. We're not conforming anymore. We're being our absolute, unequivocal truth. And sometimes, my gorgeous, that can feel lonely because we see things, we feel things, we know what's really going on. And not necessarily everybody around us will also feel and see that. And this is where it's love, it's compassion, it's understanding for where others are and allowing yourself, if that is the right moment, to move on from situations, to move on from people who are not accepting who you truly are, who are not liking you anymore, who are not, because you're not showing up how the way they want you to show up, they don't like you anymore. And that is absolutely okay. That's phenomenal. That's you and your truth. And as you're doing that, as you're allowing yourself not to be liked and you're showing up in the wild rhythm of self-love, you're making space as those people go for truth seekers to come into your life, for truth tellers to come into your life. And you're being with people who aren't just going to blow smoke, if you like. You're being with people who are honest, who will pull you up and you will pull them up. And you will be completely honest when something doesn't feel right, or when something has been said in a different way, or if you don't agree with something. It's being authentic and not conforming to society's expectations. That's where we are getting to, my gorgeous. So if you're feeling that people have left your life, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling upset, you're feeling abandoned, it may not feel like that at the moment, my gorgeous. That really is your blessing. It's your blessing in disguise. If a relationship has suddenly changed, if friends who have been solid friends all of a sudden are acting very differently towards you, it may be time, my beautiful, for that beautiful space to be engulfed and embraced with people who have got you, who know you, the true you, because that's how you're being now. You are a human being, a beautiful sentient being, being you, being absolutely you. I'll give you an example. I used to be, let's say, life of the party. I used to be, it was like, oh yeah, Eileen will have a drink, we'll go out, we'll do this. Yes, Eileen will be there, we can all have carve and we can all have fun. I don't drink anymore. I decided to not drink anymore because it wasn't an energetic match with me. As I was working on myself, I realized that I was drinking to fit in, that I was drinking, I'm talking about alcohol, I was drinking alcohol to fit in, I was drinking to be accepted, I was drinking to push my gifts down so I didn't feel anything, so there was a numbness there, so then I could show up with the mask on and be this party girl and be everybody who everybody expected me, who everybody expected me to be. And no blame there, it's how I was showing up to fit in and conform. Things changed. There are people I don't speak to anymore because I stopped drinking, because I made that vibrational change they don't vibrate on my level anymore. And it's not a criticism. It's not blame. It's just how it is. It's now those people who are continuing whatever experience they're continuing, we're not on the same vibrational match. And they didn't close an experience and move on with me. They're continuing that experience, and that's okay. And it's saying, thank you very much for being in my life. Thank you for being in this experience with me. Thank you for showing me that this isn't a match for me anymore, and moving on and allowing those in. So in those liminal moments, in those in-between moments, we've been speaking about the sacred pause and softness and stillness. In those moments where there is that sacred pause, my gorgeous, your sacred pause also is creating that space. Your sacred pause is allowing those people to go, is allowing almost that feeling of loneliness, because your body and your soul are helping you recalibrate to who you truly are. And there's going to be that little sacred pause. It's like a butterfly, you know, in that chrysalis moment. The butterfly hasn't emerged with wings. They're going through loneliness, if you like. They're in that chrysalis of all the change going on. And then when it's that moment, they're going to burst through with their beautiful wings, flying around with all the other butterflies. So that's where you're being brought to. You're being brought to meeting your butterfly people, if you like. So that's what I really felt to share with this episode. So if you're feeling anything extremely, my beautiful, and you're feeling lonely, please reach out to me. And also, if you're feeling lonely in the sense, there are lots of helplines you can speak to as well. And it may not feel like a blessing in disguise. Keep going, my beautiful. Be kind, compassionate with yourself. Allow this beautiful space to happen. Allow this beautiful sacred pause to happen. And those people who are truth seekers, who are truth tellers, exactly like you, my gorgeous, are just there waiting for the invitation. Okay? So much love to you. I hope this episode helped. It's quite a strong one. If you feel that you would like to really embrace your truth and embrace who you truly are and be in a beautiful held community, the Charis method is coming soon. And it's a beautiful space for midlife empaths, for empaths of all walks of life going through changes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful self-paced series with all of the tools that work for me. And there's other tools in there as well, with guided meditations, with processes, energetic processes, clearing tools, protection tools. It's all in there. There's also a toolkit, an emergency toolkit for empaths when we can be at a situation where we don't know what to do. It's bringing us back to ourselves. Please join the waitlist, my beautiful, if that feels for you. It's gorgeous. And that's going to be available in June. And it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's created from love. It's created with grace. It's created with truth. It's created with acceptance of who I truly am, so I can really show up and share and guide and help you get to the point of you really accepting who you truly are. And it's an ongoing process, my gorgeous, because we have been in a situation where we have shown up in the way that everybody else has expected us to. Changing those patterns is a process, and it can be very easy if there's something new coming up and we're not feeling curious, we're feeling fearful to go back into those patterns, which is why I have created the Charis method that helps you go through those transformations, that helps you make those beautiful changes, which actually are bringing you back to who you truly are. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Please leave a review, please share, please subscribe so we can share the word and we can get the accepting movement going. With so much love, here's to your self-empowerment, here's to your self-acceptance. Ho! Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Accepting. Please do stay tuned for future episodes and also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If there's anything at all that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Acceptance Coach and on TikTok at Solution Union 99. And if you'd like to have any coaching at all, or you would like to discuss this, do book an expansion call. For now, I'm your host, Aline, and to your self-acceptance, gorgeous, with so much love.